Hey everybody, it's Michelle here from Alaska Raceway Park, and it is time for Tuesday Track Talk. It is the Shop Tour edition. So today I am with Ryne from the Warhawk Racing and Bomber class. Ryne was pretty instrumental in getting Bomber class started last year, so thank you. And so we're here at your shop at Warhawk Racing, so why don't you give us a little tour?
The best thing I can show you right now with what we got going on is this is the cycle of how a bomber starts as to one that's nearing completion. So this truck behind us is one for Robbie Huck. This did actually race a couple times last year, I should say. It tried to, and it kept blowing up, and it didn't do too well. So that was a long bed. I took it, I shortened it. It's now short bed length, and I've been rebodying it using panels off of old retired race cars and race trucks. So this one's almost done. About another week worth of work and it'll be ready to go off for paint. And he's got his own engine and all that, but my end of the work is almost done. And then behind Michelle here, this is a car that's just starting out. This is a 1976 Chevy Malibu, or a Chevelle, whichever you'd like to call it. This one we just brought back from Fairbanks 2 weeks ago, and this one we just started tearing apart. Because I use used cages a lot of times, usually you'll see the roof cut off of them because we have to drop a used cage, and this one was just starting that process yesterday. So one just starting, looks terrible, beat up, ugly. One that still looks pretty beat up and ugly, but it's almost done. The safety work's almost done, and you will see this one all year long at the track with Robbie and possibly his son driving it. So,
fantastic. All right.
Yeah.
Well, and what is this green thing here?
So this is my sister-in-law's Bandolero that we bought for her, Allie. She's 14 years old, just turned 14, and we told her we would let her race. We would buy all the parts, safety equipment, everything, so long as she did all the work. So don't critique her too hard because she did 95% of all the Bando, all the fiberglass, the sanding, the stickers, the paint. She's done everything on this car, mounted her own tires. I pretty much walked her through it, and she did all the work. So it's almost ready. There's just a few little safety things and gears depending on what the track ultimately comes up, which we can't control that. But for all practical purposes, the car is almost ready to go right now. This one just came from North Pole. This is one of the cars that was in the state. I don't know how long it's been here, but it's been up in the state for quite a while. And I do believe it has some championships up there, but she's going to give it a try. She's never raced before, and she seems excited, and hopefully she keeps it one piece so I don't have to walk her through repairs.
Well, fantastic. We look forward to having Allie on the track as well as all the other kids who are going to be doing bandos. Ryne, you were super instrumental in getting Bomber stock started. From the very beginning, you were like, hey, let's do this class, and you helped me get the rules put together, aka you did the rules. But you got it all together. You had quite a few cars out there last year. What can you tell me about the Bomber class? Why is it such a cool thing to get into?
I grew up in Indianapolis, and I raced at the Indianapolis Speedrome, and we had a class called Road Runners there, and I believe it's now called Thunder Cars. There was just something about those big four-door station wagons even that just stood out to me because everybody, I remember hearing people like my dad, my uncle, grandpa, whoever was there was like, oh, we used to have one of those. We rode around. Remember that thing we sat in the back seat and stuck our tongues out at people driving down the highway with the backwards facing seats and whatever. Everybody had a story. In Alaska, because we didn't get affected by the scrap the way that the lower 48 did, we still have these big boats sitting around for almost nothing. Most of the cars I've gotten for almost free. It's crazy. You can't get that anywhere else. Yeah. But they're not really desirable cars. People wouldn't collect stuff like a Lincoln or a, well, I guess they might. But for the most part, in Alaska, Cadillac, Lincoln, Caprice, not really a super desirable car up here. We can get them for nothing, and they will go just as fast as a Camaro or a Monte Carlo. But we put them on these hard DOT tires. We've been running all year long on the same tires, and they're probably lasting another year or two at least. I know that the one car I built, Fire Chief, almost won a feature race with a slick on the right front that was left over from North Star. So a slick that was 10 years old almost won a feature race. So these things are just great. We had junkyard engines in just about every one of them, and some of them did better than others, but the group of people, I think, is what makes it better than anything. We just have so much fun. We're not as involved in the competitive side, I don't think. Every racer's competitive, but I don't think our group of people is as dedicated, so we can focus more on having fun more than anything. And that's kind of where also these NASCAR paint schemes came from that we started doing on everything. People get a kick out of it. It's a good group of people. I love it. I wouldn't be doing all this if I didn't love it as much as I do.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for giving me a shop tour. Thanks for having our fans tune in and check out your shop. If they want to find out more about the Bomber class or Warhawk Racing, where should they go?
Well, I have a Facebook page called Warhawk Racing, and then we also get our stuff featured on Alaska Raceway Park, both the website and the Facebook page, somewhat frequently. So either way, you will see stuff from us. And we're going to have a lot more cars in the class this year, so it's probably going to be a lot harder to not notice us this time around.
Absolutely. Well, thank you to everybody who's tuning in today. We super appreciate everybody checking out Ryne's shop here at Warhawk Racing. A couple little reminders if you need to order tires, like for your bomber car or the late models, Thunder Stocks or Baby Grands. I need to get those orders in by Saturday. And the last thing is we issued 1099s to everybody who was fortunate enough to make enough money racing last year. However, they are supposed to be the 1099 MISC instead of the NEC. I don't know, ask your accountant. But anyhow, those corrected ones are in the mail and you should get them probably by the end of the week. So that's all we've got today. Thanks for tuning in to Alaska Raceway Park's Tuesday Track Talk, and I'll see you next week.